addition we make to the evidentiary record, every bit of truth that we can cement on what our world is made of and how abuses and rights proceed is critical. I hope you support their work, and I'd like you to listen to Gus, who's had the most direct experience this year of working directly with the organization. Take it over, Gus.
I'll go on this step. Yeah, I'm Gus Brocchini. I'm a high school senior, and I've been working at HRDAG now for like 2.5 years, I think. And when I first came to HRDAG, I knew basically nothing, right? So I had to learn everything fairly quickly, and there's a lot of systems we have at HRDAG, a lot of organizational structures, a lot of best practices, a lot of principles we have. I remember Patrick once showed me some code and data from a project that he worked on, I think, before I was born, or at least before I could talk. And he could still find everything because of this organizational structure, which is so important in human rights work. And so the next summer, when our wonderful interns, Marie and Aaron, came, it made sense for me to train them in those same structures, which I did. And then the next summer, it made even more sense for me to train Camille and Valentina, who I can't quite see, and our human rights intern, Trina Reynolds-Tyler. And while I've been training, I've also been working on my own project, which is Guatemala Fingerprints. And the purpose of Guatemala Fingerprints is to use fingerprint data to name currently unidentified cadavers from the Guatemalan Civil War. And the purpose of that is to find the disappeared. It's part of the search for the disappeared. You know, somewhere someone's brother left for work 40 years ago and never came back. And for them, that's a disappearance, right? That's a name they have, but they don't have any body, they don't have anything they've found. On the other end, that's a body without a name. And so if we can try to name those bodies, we can go back to those families and hopefully give them some sort of closure. And when Patrick first gave me this project, he said, you know, there's this data over here, there's that data, you're trying to match them, and you almost certainly won't find anyone. And I sort of thought, you know, what if I'm not going to find anyone? What am I doing here? But he was excited about it, and I was 15, so I sort of said, so I figured he knew better. And so I went ahead with it, and it has been difficult. The Guatemalan IT department in the 80s was not, I think, the best. I've had to work with partners in the ground in Guatemala, Carolina Lopez and Julio Mendez, on re-encoding some of the fingerprints. Before my time, this project actually started in 2005, and there was a long process of reading the data and decoding it and figuring out the file formats and whatnot. Last year, Carolina left for a month to go help with restoration after a volcano erupted in Guatemala. After that, the Guatemalan government shut down the archive, which is our data source, to stop human rights investigations like ours. But this summer, I was doing the final sort of match. I was trying to figure out, like, definitively, we definitely can't find anyone. We've done our due diligence. We can move on. And I found 227 exact fingerprint matches, which still might be 0 actual matches, might just be people with similar fingerprints. I think it's probably pretty likely it's still 0. But it's a big step forward. And what I've learned is that it's the sort of like almost irrational persistence, right? Going forward, even though you don't know if it's possible, or even if you think it probably isn't possible, that's what it takes to achieve justice, that's what it takes to achieve truth. And that's what we do here at HRDAG.
Wow.
And it's my great honor to introduce someone who embodies that persistence for truth, maybe more than anyone else, Dr. Megan Price.